time. So we're assuming that all of us, we've never stepped into any Excel class. So we will be looking at things from the basics. And these are what you're doing. These are what you're doing. A moment here. I'm sharing this document in our group. I'm sharing this document in our group. And I believe all of us today, at least, we're having our PC, because as I mentioned, these are very practical, paper. So all of us, at least, we should be having our PC, because that is what we'll be doing it practically. So whatever that Molimo will be doing on this end, I'm also expecting you guys to be doing it on your end, so that at least we should all be on the same page. So I've shared a certain document. I've shared the Excel workbook in our group. I've shared the Excel workbook in our group. Make sure that we have the same. Make sure that we have the same. So just a moment here. I'm trying to open another document I share. I'm not sure it's not responding, but just a moment. Let me check what could be the issue. So I think I'll share that document because I'm trying to share, but I'm not sure why it is not picking, but I'll definitely try share again. So these are what you're doing. At this point, I know at some point, all of us, we must have interacted with Excel in one way or the other. Mentioning that, we are assuming that you're starting from the basics. You guys, you don't have any clear or any knowledge in Excel. So I just want us to do a quick recap on our basic knowledge of Excel and see if at all you can remember. So maybe we start with, of course, understanding this Excel, because many a times that is what we'll be using. Of course, it is this Excel that we'll be using most of the time. And it will be important that we do understand the segment of this Excel so that when Molimo says that we go this point, we are all there. So maybe just to start with this, I want someone to remind Mwalimu, like, what do we call this area here? Yeah, the top area here. How do we call this area? The one that Mwalimu is pointing. Maybe Amos, talk to us this area where I'm having the auto 7, this area. How do you call this area in Excel?
Mwalimu, I have forgotten that one, kindly.
Yeah?
Yeah, nimesahau, kindly. Forgive me for that.
Huh?
Yes, yes.
Haya, tunajua. Alan, how do you call this area in Excel? Alan, how do you call this area in Excel? I know you can hear Mwalimu Alan. Remember, you're starting from the basics.
Yes, Mwalimu. I'm trying to think. I've been using it.
Acha leo tuone watu. Yes, Alan.
Now I'm trying to think. Is it icons?
Haya, wanafunzi wa CPA, tuko advanced BDA. We did all this. I think this is a concept. I know we have. I know we have it. It's only that probably you can say maybe tumesahau kidogo. Hilary, what do you think? This area, how do you call this area in Excel?
Dashboard or what?
Jenny pressure walimu. Hilary wasema hilo dashboard. Haya, this area in Excel. Remember, these are what we did. Basic. First of all, you're starting with us understanding so that mwalimu ukiona mwalimu anasema we go to this point, at least we all go to that point.
Mwalimu, could it be the menu bar?
Menu bar?
Yes, that's my attempt.
Menu bar. At least we're having that point. Yeah, basically it is we can in this case you'll find that we're having various, the whole bit is menu bar, but in this case you'll find that we're having the categories. Like in this case, if at all you can check where, say for example, this quick access, these are quick access toolbar. So you can see that this area where I'm having my Excel shortcuts, this is a title bar. So anytime Mwalimu says that go and check the title of your Excel, these are what you're referring to as the title bar. See, I'm having this as our title bar at that point. Also, it will be important that we also have a knowledge when it comes to basically the ribbon, because we'll be using ribbon a lot. So this is our ribbon. See this area here. This area here is our ribbon, which if at all we can decide to, you see, these are ribbon. This is a ribbon area. All this, so that if Mwalimu say that, you know what, that's good for a ribbon, maybe on a certain segment, we should always be there. So this ideally is what we're terming as our ribbon. This is our ribbon area. Then, of course, another key element that we'll be using a lot, at this point, I know all of us, we must be very good on that. This case, you must be able to understand clearly. So you see, these are tab list. You see, where I'm having file, home, insert, draw. Basically, that is what we having it as our what we normally refer to as our tab list. These are what we normally refer to as our tab list. So below tab list, we're having our ribbon. So these are tab lists like insert, talk about, draw, page layout, formulas, data. These are tab lists. Below that, of course, you're having ribbon. Then I know this case, all of us, you must know this. All of us, you must know this. Like whenever I type anything here, you'll find that it will appear here. So how do you call this bar? Alan, how do you call this bar? Where my values are appearing. How do you call that bar? We'll be using a lot. We'll be using it a lot.
Yeah. I've been using it, but that name I cannot tell you the name of the bar.
But you normally use it almost every day.
Yeah. But now
so what is
name.
that bar? What is that bar? What is that bar? What is that bar? Amos? How do you call that bar?
The formula bar.
Formula bar, correct. That is a formula bar. So anytime you hear Mwalimu telling us that, you know what, we should go to our formula bar or rather we check this in our formula bar because I'll be using it a lot. So whenever we are talking of our formula bar, then this will be our formula bar. You see, at this point, this will be our formula bar. So if you hear anytime Mwalimu saying that, you know what, let us go to this tab, let us go to this formula bar, check this on our formula bar, then all of us, at least, we must always tend to do what? We must always tend to go straight to that bar. That is what we normally term as our formula bar. So let me increase, I want to, okay, that is very visible. So these are formula bar. So anytime you hear Mwalimu telling us that, you know what, let's go to this area. So that is our formula bar. Then another key area that we'll be using a lot at this point is, I want to see if at all, it seems that at least we forgo these items. I want someone to tell Mwalimu, how do we call these items here? Like where I'm having the workbook shortcuts, cell formatting shortcuts, additional and advanced shortcuts. How do you call this bit here, where we have these titles? How do you call this? Because we'll also be using it a lot. How do you call this area? How do you call this area? Wanafunzi wangu wa BDA. How do you call this area? Alan?
Which area, Mwalimu? I cannot see the cursor. Which area?
My cursor is very visible, Alan. Where we're having the workbook, you see, where I'm pointing the workbook, cell, format, shortcuts, additional and advanced, these items that you want to look at. How do you call this area? We'll be using it a lot. How do you call this area? We're jogging our mind. You're jogging our mind. You're jogging our mind. You're jogging our mind. These areas. How do you call these areas? You're jogging our mind. Wanafunzi wangu wa BDA.
Sheet tab.
Sheet tab.
Sheet tabs, right? Sheet tabs. Sheet tabs. Sheet tabs. So anytime I click this area, these are our sheet tabs. One area is simply a sheet, but whenever we're looking at it, basically we'll be looking at what? As sheet tabs, the way they are. Then another key area that maybe Mwalimu would be using a lot, of course, these other area, like when I tell you, like, let us go to our horizontal scroll bar. Where should I take my cursor? Horizontal scroll bar. Where should I take my cursor? Horizontal scroll bar. Wanafunzi wangu wa BDA. Where should I take my cursor? Horizontal scroll bar. If
Mwalimu,
I tell you like, yes, Amos?
It's the one, like I want to believe it's below your cursor towards the right a little bit. That black thing, yeah, that one.
Exactly. This is our horizontal scroll bar, meaning that this will be what? Our vertical scroll bar. This will be a vertical scroll bar. This will be a vertical scroll bar. So just understanding the basic of Excel because it is important. Then other key area that again Mwalimu can ask us one that will be interacting with it a lot. In this case, if at this point, for the purpose of our view, if I tell us to maybe collapse our ribbon button, where should I go? I want to collapse my ribbon buttons. Where should we go? Collapsing our ribbon button so that we have a wider range of working. This area, you see? Where in this case, I can decide to hide all our quick access toolbars. See this area, where in this case, you can decide to, if at all I need my full screen bar, you see, I've hidden all whatever that you've hidden on top there. So I'm having only this bit. So it will be important because just for the purpose of our training, remember our focus at this point is not only that exam that you're going to do, but also in our day-to-day, of course, practice. So that will be important. So the moment we have this basic understanding of course, Excel, where I am clicking here, these are basically the cells that you're having. These are basically cells. These are basically cells. So it is important to have that basic. Now, looking at this case, our first bit we need to understand is Excel shortcuts. Is to understand how to use our Excel shortcuts. That is what we're having in our first case for business data analytics. I remember, I know also like the examiner knew, like for CPA students at least, as at the end of the day, they must also be guided when it comes to matters to do with basic Excels. Because majority of us, while we are through our training, you'll find that we are always majorly engaged with a lot of thought, with a lot of written bits. You don't use Excel many a times. You're doing CPA probably also in work environment. You're in a whole different department. You don't interact with Excel. So at some point, you'll find that it will be tough for us to maybe get some 2 or 1 things here and there. So it's important for us to at least have that basic understanding. Now, our first class, of course, is to understand the Excel shortcuts. Is to understand the Excel shortcuts. Is to understand the Excel shortcuts, which will be very, very important. So doing this, we have various Excel shortcuts, whereby number 1, of course, we'll be having this shortcut that you must always tend to have. Creating charts, organizing lists, manipulating text, accessing other data, creating graphical dashboards. This is now what we can do, of course, with Excel. But for, of course, our starters, number 1 is to understand the workbook shortcut keys. The workbook shortcut keys. Workbook shortcut keys, right? Like, I believe all of us, we're having our laptop or a PC with us because I want us to do this practically. I want us to do this practically. So, number 1 shortcut, we are saying that we want to create a new workbook. How will we go about it? How will we go creating our new workbook? How will you go about creating our new workbook? So creating a new workbook, this is easy because all you need to do, and you can try it on your end. We have Control N. Remember also in, I think it was last sitting, even last sitting, I think for April, where you are given or you are asked questions in terms of theory, how do you do this using Excel shortcut keys? So number 1 item, you're saying to create a new workbook. If at all I want to create a new workbook, instead of me coming to this procedure of doing file, then doing new, it is easy. All you need to do is just do what? Control, then new. If you click Control New, it will take you to a whole new workbook. It will take us to a new workbook. Control New, taking us to a new workbook. You can try that on your end. These are some of the shortcut keys that are very vital for us. The other key item to understand here, you'll find that we're about what? To open existing workbook. Now the workbook that are in play and I want to open all of them, all you need to do is to do what? Control O. If you click Control All, you'll find that it will give us, it will open for us, it will guide us on some of the workbooks that are there. So I believe that while doing this, you're also doing it on your end so that you can get that practical component. That is Control O, Control O, Control O, Control O. You'll be having that. Another key shortcut that we should be having here in Excel, of course, given that fact, we should be having, of course, another key item here, whereby we'll be talking about what? To save the workbook or a spreadsheet, right? To save our workbook or a spreadsheet, all we need to, of course, consider is the aspect to do with what? Control S. Instead of you going all through this process of maybe coming to file, then you save, it is easy because you can just do what? You can just Control S, which you're having it at that point. And all these shortcuts, you see, all these shortcuts, these are simply the workbook shortcut keys, workbook shortcut keys. So you're going to understand it better if at all you're also doing it, you're also doing it practically. You're going to get it well if at all you are also doing it practically. That's when you're going to understand it well. The other key item, these are the cell formatting shortcuts. Remember, the first batch is for us to understand the workbook shortcut keys, right? The second batch here, you'll find that it is for us now to understand the aspect of what? Cell formatting shortcut keys. These are what we're having here. Let me increase this font. See? It will be important, of course, for us to get all this, understanding the cell formatting shortcuts, like I want to edit a cell, maybe I want to copy paste a cell. What we do, let us check this one out. I think there's a let me check if I can find this. See how the question, this question was tested in April last sitting. This question was tested in April last sitting. See some of the questions how you're asked, so that you can also be able to be very keen and understand that at times these concepts for shortcuts, you can also be asked in terms of the theory part. This is let me check. There's that theory part for which was tested actually last sitting. It was tested last sitting. It was tested last sitting in our exams, BDA exams. It was tested last sitting in our BDA exam. So just a moment, I want to get that paper so that you can have it, so that you can understand. When Morimu is saying that also it is important for us to master some of these things, you should be able to take it very serious, because you can be asked, not for practice, okay, but also for the purpose of exams, you can literally be asked. So I want to check, let me share with you this question. Let me share with you just a moment here. I want to share with you this question. You see how you're asked. Just a moment, I'm checking that last sitting. It was a last sitting paper. It was a last sitting paper. That should be here. That one is the other year. Just a moment here, I'll show you, so that you understand that some of these things are also very important in terms of us understanding the shortcuts. In terms of us understanding the shortcuts is also very important. So Marvin, this is I want to share with us. I was supposed to share this, of course, in our WhatsApp group yesterday, but I'll try and make sure that I've shared them today. If it was not last sitting, I think it was the other sitting where you're asked at how do you copy and paste? How do you copy and paste? Imagine such a question, you being asked, how do you copy and paste in Excel? You being asked such a question, surely. How do you copy and paste? How do you copy and paste? I think it was December 2023. Of course, I'll be sharing that as soon as I can right now, so that at least we all have it. I'll be sharing that so that we all have it. So what Mwalimu is trying to say is that at this point, it will be important for us to understand some of these shortcuts. You see, it will be important for us to understand some of these shortcuts. Additional and advanced shortcuts here we have, whereby to add a comment to a cell, to delete a cell comment, to display, find, and replace. We should be expected to be able to understand, even if it is not all, at least 80% of these shortcuts. They will help us. They'll help us to make sure that our work is being done fast. So these are what you'll be expected to have. I've shared this document with us. So make sure that even after class, you go through the document, you train with this document to understand some of these shortcuts. They'll be very important. They'll be very important for us. Make sure that you do understand some of these shortcuts. So Mwalimu will say that we are going to start from scratch, right? Assuming all of us we've never done Excel, assuming all of us we've never used Excel, so that by the time we go to the application of BDA, then we'll be in a very, very good position. So this is our first task, to understand the basic concepts, of course, in Excel. After we have been able to understand, of course, these shortcuts, the next thing that Mwalimu will also want us to check and to understand now are the functions of Excel. Excel functions that we will be required to do what? To master Excel functions. So these are what I'm going to do. Let me share this Excel document in our group. I want us to have it so that we can start our task today, understanding some of these, of course, some of these functions. So I'm sharing this document in our group. Make sure that you have it. The main functions that we will be looking at will include the following. The main functions that we'll be focusing on. Number one, it will be important for us to understand the concept to do with if functions. Under if functions, of course, I'll be having the SUMIF function. We should be able to understand SUMIF function. We should be able to understand COUNTIF function and talk about the COUNTIFs functions. The COUNTIFs function. These are some of the functions that you must always tend to be able to do it, to understand them. So we're having SUMIF, COUNTIF, SUMIFs, and COUNTIFs function. They'll be very important. You realize that we'll also be using them, of course, in our working and some of these papers that have been tested. So major function, SUMIF, SUMIFs, COUNTIF, and COUNTIFs functions. They'll be very, very important for us. They'll be very, very important for us. So to start with, in this case, of course, I want us to understand the SUMIF. By doing this, I'm sharing this document with us. Make sure that we have this document. I'm sharing it right now in our group. I'm sharing this Excel document. I'm sharing this Excel document in our group. Make sure that you have it. And you'll confirm if at all you have managed to get the document. So I'm picking this document. make sure that you have received the document. Make sure that you have received this document. Let me share it. So that tuone Excel yetu imefika wapi. See how good are we in Excel and how good can we use Excel functions. Can you confirm you have received? Kindly confirm you have received the document.
We have not received it, Mwalimu. We are still checking.
Okay, so SUMIF. I'll share on the group. Not yet?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Received.
Should be okay now, right? You must have received the document.
Yes, we have.
Okay. So on this case, I want us now to understand the concept of SUMIF using this document of ours and make sure that you're doing it together. 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 Make sure that we are doing it together. So make sure that we are doing it together. So you'll find that many a times the document that you're having here, these are documents of the sales data, which will include, of course, the period in terms of course, the date period, talk about the sales, talk about the date, talk about the month, talk about the quarter. So this is the data that I'm having. So on this case, our focus is we need to understand the concept of the SUMIF. Whenever we'll be talking of SUMIF, SUMIF function, of course, in Excel, what will it entail and what is the importance of the SUMIF function? So what I want us to understand, anytime you're talking of the SUMIF function, you'll find that in this case, these are functions in Excel that will allow us to sum the values in a certain range, okay? It will allow us to sum the values in a range, right? That meet a specific criteria. So that if I need to know that, you know what, I'm having this data, I want to know the total sales that I made in, say, Sunday, the total sales that I made in Friday for the whole year, the total sales that maybe I made in January for that period, the total sales that I made in Q1 for the period. That is where the concept of SUMIF will come in play. So in summary, we normally tend to say like the SUMIF function, it will allow us, right? It will allow us to sum the values in a range. It will allow us, SUMIF function allow us, SUMIF function, right? Allow us to sum, SUMIF function, we're saying, it allows us to sum the values, right, in a range. It allows us to sum the value in a range, that meets specified criteria, that meets specified criteria. This is the SUMIF function, and it will be very vital also in our practice of Excel. It will be very, very vital. So to do this, you'll find that then it will be important for us to understand how to use this SUMIF function. So what I want us to do, okay, what I want us to do is, given our data, the one that you're having, given this set of data, the one that you're having, I want us to determine the total cells. I want us to determine the total cells. The total cells for the cells that we made, daily cells. I want us to determine the total cells in terms of the daily cells. Number two, we need to determine in terms of the monthly cells. And of course, we need to determine that in terms of what? Quarterly cells. Quarterly cells. Quarterly cells. Quarterly cells. I want us to determine these cells. So in this case, we find that I'm having a certain criteria whereby we're saying that the summing function allow us to sum the values in a range, right? To sum the values in a range that meet a specified criteria. So these are what we'll be doing, of course. Number one, I want us to do this. I want us, of course, to consider the daily cells. If at all, we are supposed to determine our daily cells, and I want to use the summing function, what are we going to do? So first thing first, I want us to determine what? I want us to determine the total cells. I want us to determine the total cells here. What will be our total cells? What will be our total cells? In this case, all you can do, if you want the total cells, the easiest way you can work it out, you can just do equal sign, okay? I do sum, tab. I come to where my cells are. I do Control Shift direction down. It will give us up to the last data on that equal sign. It will give us up to the last point. Instead of us scrolling all through, it is easy for you to do what? I'm going to repeat this procedure again. I want us to determine our total cells in a very easy way. I want us to determine our total cells in a very easy way. This is what you're doing. We've said that all we need to do is you need the summation of all this. So what are you going to do? You do equal sign, sum, because it is a sum that I want. You go to where we want to determine our cells. So that is cell C3. Cell C3. This is my cell C3, where my cells is starting. I click at that point. All you need to do, believe that you guys are also doing it practically, do click Shift, or rather click Control Shift direction down, because I want it to go down, direction down. You'll find that Excel automatically, it will sort for me up to the last data that I want. So that once I do that, all I need to do is just to click Enter, and it will give me my total cells. It will give us our total cells like that. It will give us our total cells like that. I want us to achieve that. Make sure that you've achieved, you're having the same output. Alan, are you having the same output?
No, mwalimu, I'm having a challenge kidogo. Now I've gone to my Excel and I've typed total sales, and then I've put the equal sign. Is it supposed to be that way?
Yeah, you come here, you do equal sign, right?
Yes.
Then you do sum, you just type sum. The aspect of the sum will appear on that case, right? Then you do tab after selecting the sum, right?
Okay.
So that you have this syntax. Are you having this syntax?
Just
equal sign, sum. We should have this. Are you achieving this?
Equal sum. So after I type sum, I press the tab, eh?
The tab, yeah, the first item that is appearing, just press the tab to pick it.
This is where I'm having the challenge.
Okay, bracket.
It's appearing.
Oh.
Not even the bracket, even if at all you do just equal sign, then you do sum, you'll find that it will appear. You see, my function sum is appearing at this point. So you just click tab. That is a tab. Sum, you click what? Tab. the first one appearing. Are you getting that? Are you achieving that? Amos, have you achieved that as Alan is trying?
Yes, I am good myself. 496,800.
Hilary, have you achieved that?
Yes.
Hila? Alan, I want us to achieve the same results.
See, Mwalimu, I don't know what the problem is because the moment I type sum, then I press the tab cells, then it's bringing the hashtag name, the way it was displaying in your screen before. So
because you have clicked enter, not tab. Or what you can do simply, if at all that is bringing an issue on your end, you come to AutoSum. On our ribbon, I told you guys we would be using this a lot. You come to AutoSum. You see on the ribbon here where you're having AutoSum.
yeah.
Then you just do sum. Have you clicked that?
Just a minute, I click.
Sure.
Right equals. Yeah, I've written the sum. Then I click on the tab cells.
Are you on this? Have you gone
Yeah.
to? Have you used the other one? Are you achieving this?
Yes, I'm using the AutoSum.
Now you have this, right?
Yeah.
So now after that, just as it is, the way it is, go to our cell C3. Go to our cell C3, right?
Yes.
So that once it has selected that, all you need to do just to click Control Shift Direction at the same time. Control Shift Direction at the same time. So it will capture all the range that I want to get. It will capture the range that you're looking at. It will capture that range. It will capture our range. Make sure that you are there. It will capture our range. Then you do what? You click now enter so that you get 496,800.
We talked about Control Shift.
Yeah, Control Shift down. You are clicking you click them at the same time. You click them at the same time. Control Shift down. You click them at the same time. You click them at the same time.
So the moment I'm clicking the Control Shift, I need to put the cursor on the nini.
Yeah, the cursor should be there. The cursor should be on your first data, which is C3.
Okay.
Your cursor should be on the C3.
Yeah, it's there.
So the moment you are the shortcut of highlighting our range in a shortcut form is a Control Shift Direction, where you want, if at all it is down, left, right, or up. But because for us we want down, that's why we're doing it down. Are we achieving that? Make sure that we are achieving that. There are so many ways. Still, you can just go to the top of your table then you can do Alt equal sign. It will give you all. You just do enter. There's so many ways that you can work it out.
Okay.
There's so many ways that you can work it out. So make sure that you are achieving that so that you can proceed to the next step, like determining for each component. Are you achieving that, Alan?
Yes, yes. Achieved that.
Okay, great. Great. So our daily sales. Daily sales, this is in regard to what we're having here. You see, my daily sales. This is Monday, Tuesday. These are our days. So what we are going to do, make sure that whatever that you're typing here should be the same as in our source data. Like in my source data for day, it is 3 letters. So therefore, also on my sheet, the one that I'm preparing here should be in 3 letters. Like Monday, then Monday should be Monday. Tuesday should be Tuesday. See, should be picking 3 letters. I do that all through to Sunday. So I just drag. So I'm having Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Should be exactly the same as what we're having in our source data. My source data here, that is how our figures, or that is how our values are arranged. At least the system is 3 letters. So we're having our daily sales in terms of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, like that. Make sure that we are achieving that. Make sure that we are achieving that. Make sure that we are achieving that. Once you're there, we can proceed. Once you're there, we can proceed. So at this point, I want us to have our syntax in terms of we want to use the SUMIF function to give us the total for each and every every day, the one that you're having here. So that is to say, I'll come to my data here. We want daily sales. Then I want us to do this equal sign SUMIF equal sign SUMIF. Just type equal sign SUMIF equal sign SUMIF. It will bring it should give us this. Then I click tab. Then I'll click tab. What you want to achieve, you want to basically determine the value in a range, right? That will meet a certain criteria that you want. So in our syntax here, if all of us can be able to check this, right? In our syntax here, you realize that I'm having this syntax and the variables in our syntax. If you can check this, if at all it is clear, let me highlight this so that it should be much clearer. You're saying, so you're doing the SUMIF, right? If at all you can check in our syntax here, I'm having the range. We're having our criteria. We're having our sum range. So the range is where are we picking this data from? We're picking this data from our source data, which is what? Daily. These are daily sales. These are daily sales. So this day is my range. Our day here is our range. So all I need to do is to come and click my range. My range is from 1, so I click at that point. I do what? Control, Shift, direction down. It will pick up to the last data in my table. it will pick up to the latest data in my table. Then I do tab, or rather maybe you just first of all have it. So maybe let us go to step by step. So you'll find that whatever that it has picked from D3 up to D102. It has picked up to D102. So that is my range. I do what? Comma. We are following our syntax. The next item is criteria. What do I want to achieve? I want to achieve my daily sales, and my daily sales are arranged in terms of Monday to Sunday. So I need to select what? Monday. I select Monday. I select Monday. Then I do comma. The sum range. The sum range. Summation. Total value. What do we want to achieve here? My goodness, we want to achieve the total sales. So to achieve the total sales, I come to where my sales are here. From the first data, which is 2,300, which is C3, I do that. We use this shortcut that Mwalimu has just guided us now, Control, Shift, Direction down. In this case, add plus that, so maybe I'll just pick it up to that point, 102, 102. So that once we have that, you'll find that I have filled this syntax of mine. I'm having the range, which is the days. I'm having the criteria. My criteria is daily. I'm having the sum range, the total values of our sales. So the moment I do OK, you'll see it will tell us that for this year, the sales that we made on Monday, we had 42,800. All the sales that were done on Monday, I'm having 42,800. It has enabled us to determine the sum of our daily sales. The criteria was daily, that is Monday. So we are achieving this. Are we achieving the same output? Hilary? Amos, are we achieving the same output?
Yes, 42,800.
Alan, are we achieving the same output?
No mwalimu, ndio najaribu, nilikuwa naangalia kwanza vile unafanya.
Sure, no worries, no worries. Ila, are you achieving the same output?
Yes, please. But maybe you can tell me how to determine, how to know a range, a criteria. How do we define those?
Sure, that is okay. So looking at our syntax, which we've seen here, we've seen that our syntax on this case, I'm having, of course, if I double click, you can see I'm having the range, I'm having criteria in the sum range. So explaining these variables, anytime we are talking of course, we start with the range. Anytime we are talking of course, the range, the whole idea of the range will be looking at, of course, the range is simply the cells that we want to apply the criteria to. The range cells, the range cells, the range cells that we want to apply criteria to. That is our range. When you are talking about criteria, in this context, we should be able to understand that criteria is simply, when you are talking about criteria now is simply the condition that must be met for a cell to be included in the sum. The condition that must be met. The condition that must be met for a cell to be included in a range, for a cell to be included in a range. These are what you're referring to as criteria. The condition that must be met for a cell to be included, of course, what? In a range, or rather for a cell to be included in the sum, not range, for a cell to be included in the sum, because it is a total that you're determining. Now, the sum range here, when you are talking about the sum range, simply, all that we are looking at is the range of cells to sum. 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 So that if we can start with the first case here, like we are looking at the first case, which was what? The range. So the range here is the cell that we want to apply our criteria to. Where do we want to apply our criteria? We want to apply our criteria on day. And that's why in our syntax here, we took our range to be these cells. You see, these days, this is our range. These are where we want to apply our cell, our criteria. Then the moment I'm having the range of cells, the range of cells is literally now from where we're having cell D3 up to cell D102. So that is where we want to apply our criteria to. Then the criteria, the condition that must be met. So I need to determine for Monday. Monday is my criteria. I need to determine the total for this Monday. So Monday is our criteria. The condition that must be met for this cell to be included in our total, or rather in our sum. So Monday is our criteria. Then the sum range, the range of cells to sum. What do we want to sum? We want to sum the total cells. We want to sum the cells. And that's why here we are talking about the cells. That's how, or that's the explanation of these variables that we are looking at. Ila, I'm not sure if that is clear. Hilary, is that clear? Great.
Yes.
Great. Alan, have you achieved this 42,800?
Mwalimu, Mwalimu, I don't know what's happening. I'm facing challenges. Even I'm not like getting what you are getting. When I go to the auto sum.
In this case, you don't go to auto sum. In this case, we are using the SUMIF. You don't go to auto sum this time round. And that's why we are using what? The SUMIF function.
Yeah, but can you just repeat?
We do it again.
Yes.
We are doing it again. Let us do it again. So just follow these steps.
Okay.
Number one, we click equal sign, right? Then we type sum if. If you click sum if, these two will appear, right?
Yes.
So you select the first one by just clicking tab. Click your tab. Then after you click your tab, this range will appear, right? You can see this syntax appearing. Range, criteria, sum range. Are you seeing this syntax appearing?
Yeah, I've seen.
The first syntax is range. Our range, we've said, it is the cell that we want to apply our criteria to. So where are we going to go? It is the days. So we go to where we are starting our first Sunday, which is what? D3. So we select that point. Okay?
Yeah.
We use our shortcut, Control Shift, direction down, to select the whole cells, to select the whole range.
Just a minute. Yeah, I have D102.
Then you do what? You do comma. just do comma. The next bit is we go to now what? The criteria. Criteria, it is a condition that must be met. So the condition, these are the daily sales. So we click what? Monday. You see, I'm having the first one is Monday, right? So you click that Monday.
Okay.
Okay. Then you do comma.
Just a minute. Yeah, then comma.
Then now we are on our sum range. So sum range, we want the total sales here, right? So you go to our first sales, which is 2,300, which is C3. So I click at that point. Okay. Then Control Shift direction down to pick the whole. Make sure that it is 102. Don't go up to 103 because 103 it was the total that we had. So go up to 102.
Yeah, it's 102.
Then just click enter. After that, just click enter.
Oh, yeah, it's 42,800. Okay.
42,800, right?
Yes, thank you.
Great. So this will tell us that the total sales that we had for this period is what? Is that much. The total sales that we had for, if I told you to analyze it, Mondays, all our Mondays for the whole year, we had 42,800. All our Mondays for the whole year, we had 42,800. Then the next step will be for us to determine for Tuesday. You'll find that instead of us repeating the same procedure all through, I'll want us to lock the common range cells. By locking, that is to say, we freeze. We are commanding Excel to give us the same results as what we have previously. So, for example, at this point, if we click on the 42,800, what was our range? D3 to D102 was our range. So what do? I want you to highlight D3 up to D102. Just within our formula bar, and that's why it was important for us to understand this. Come to our formula bar here. In our formula bar, we highlight D3 to D102. Then you do what? To lock, you simply click F4. You'll see that the dollar signs will appear in each and every character. The dollar signs will appear. The dollar signs will appear in each character here. That's
Sorry, Mwalimu. So after we highlight, you said we press 4.
F4, function 4.
Oh, F4.
Yeah, okay. F4. The dollar sign has appeared.
So we are highlighting up to D102.
Up to D102, yeah.
Maybe you can tell me how to do that on a MacBook, because I'm pressing F4.
Sure, no worries. You're pressing function 4.
Do I need a shift because mine is not coming?
Yours is not coming. Then click FN. FN4. Are you achieving that?
Not yet.
So let me open my Mac. I show you the best way to work it out. I can see if I can share mine. Just a moment here. Let me share my Mac. Let me try to share on our screen. Ila is yours with the touch bar. It has touch pad.
Yes.
So that in this case I can see mine here. Just a moment. That is of course. You said if you click FN for yours is not picking. Ila? Because for mine I can see it's picking.
Mwalimu.
Just
before you saw Tila, so after we highlight D3 to D102, we press F and then 4, the 4 that has a dollar sign.
Alan, you're saying?
So after we highlight the D3 and D102, you have said we press F and then the 4 with the dollar sign.
For your keyboard has a four key on its own, right?
Yeah, on its own at the top.
Just click F4.
F4 together.
Yeah, if you click F4, the dollar sign will appear.
Mine is not appearing. I'm pressing the F4. And totally, it's not bringing anything.
If it is not bringing the dollar sign, you click FN, then F4.
Okay, mine has appeared after FN with the F4.
Yeah?
Mine
FN
has
F4.
appeared.
Yeah, on Mac it's supposed to appear because mine was appearing as well. FN then 4, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it should appear. Alan?
Mwalimu, I'm pressing F and FN, F4.
First of all, click F4 only.
F4.
Yeah, first of all, click F4 only. You highlight first. You highlight first.
Yes.
Then you click F4 only. Click just F4 only. Are the dollar sign appearing?
Your dollar sign is not appearing.
Yes, my end, I'm very okay, Mwalimu.
Alan, the dollar sign is not appearing.
It's not appearing, Mwalimu. I have F4, then I have F and 4.
I want you to click F4, the one that is appearing on your keyboard on top there. Only that. After you've highlighted, you just click F4 only without clicking any other thing. Just go and click F4 directly. Not the dollar sign, the one that is appearing. So you're having the escape F1, F2, F3, F4 on your keyboard.
Yes.
Keyboard, yeah? So you click F4 only. Just click F4, the one that is indicating F4.
So I'm clicking, and then it's bringing something at the far end. PC screen only, duplicate, extend, second screen only. So,
if you click F4.
Yes.
So that you highlight, and if you click FN, then that one is if you clicked F4 only, or you clicked FN and then F4.
That one is F4 only. The one at the top, F4 only.
Then highlight, then click FN, then F4 at once. Click them at once.
You're saying Fn?
Fn and F4 at once.
Yeah, it has brought the $sign.
Yeah, so it should lock like that, right?
Yeah.
So after that case, that is to say, or you've commanded your Excel, that, you know what, at this point, whatever that you've done is that whatever I'm doing is that I am locking what? I am locking my, or rather I'm giving Excel instruction that, you know what, in all these criteria, kindly give me the same results. That is what you're doing with locking. So the same case, I want you to go to the other is the C3 and 102, the sum range. Do the same procedure on the sum range, F4. Do the same procedure on the sum range. 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 So that you lock it up. Make sure that we are achieving the same task. So that once you have achieved that, we've locked what? We've locked, of course, both. We've locked the sum range and we've locked the aspect of the range. So all you need to do is just to click enter. 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 Click enter. Click enter. Click enter. So once you've clicked enter, in that case, I want us now to drag our data. By dragging, we come to that bottom right corner, that Catholic plus appearing, then you just drag. You just drag like that, all through, you just drag. You'll find that the output results will be in all the items that I'm having. It will give us the results that you're having. The results that we're having, the results that you're having. It will give us these results. Make sure that we are achieving the same. I want all of us to be on the same page for us to proceed. Make sure that you have understood. Make sure that you have understood before we proceed. So make sure that you have understood that. Are we getting the same output? Tuesday, the whole Tuesday for the whole year, it is 81,400. For Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, are we achieving these results?
Mwalimu, I'm achieving the same results, but for, I don't know what the problem might be, but for mine for Thursday and Saturday, it's showing a 0.
It's showing 0.
Yeah, 0, but the rest are the same. Left, done, and error.
Thursday, is it? Are you having THU or are you having THUR?
Oh, you are.
Remove that R. Just remove the R.
Oh, yes.
Are you achieving the same now?
Yeah, it's okay. But for Saturday, what about Saturday for Saturday? 0 too, and it's SAT.
There must probably, do you have any space somewhere on that data? You must be having the same. SAT, and you're getting 0.
I'm getting 0.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's not okay. It's not okay. I've retyped the Saturday.
Yeah, maybe you had a space somewhere. So remember, like whatever that you're achieving here, it should be the like in our criteria, what you're using, it should be exactly be the same with our source data here. So that's where you are going to get the exact results. Hilary, you think that you're having an issue? What is the issue on your end?
Mwalimu,
Yes.
how about the nini? How about the sum at the end, the 496,800? So after we drop the kanini,
Which one?
the
The one that
the,
we had in here,
the
the one
total,
that we had here
yes,
on
the one on
103. This one.
yes, yes.
No, this one just remove it because that one was just showing you another way of getting it.
Oh, no, I'm talking about, you see, at the daily sales, the ones that we have from illustrating the same.
Yeah, the summation.
The submission. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
This is proving that you're right because the total sales for the whole year, the one that we started with was 496,800. So if we sum up the total sales for each day for the whole year, it should give us the same. So that's why we just summed. We just determined we've gone there and determined the summation by just clicking auto sum to get the total.
okay. I think I wanted to know how you have done that. Thank you.
Yeah, we just determined, we just click auto sum and we've gotten the total.
Thank you.
Okay, sorry, I'm at a construction site. There is a noise.
Okay, understandable.
The question is, can you hear me?
Yeah, we are getting you, Ila.
Okay, so I don't know, can I share my screen so that you can see?
Sure.
Because I'm trying to drag, but it's not.
Let me allow you to share your screen kindly.
Okay. Okay, here is mine. So if I'm dragging like this, I'm not getting that result. So I'm like, what's going on? Could the problem be formatting or?
What about copy paste?
Like
field formatting only. It's not picking still. What you need to do, try just copy and paste.
I copy what? The formula?
Yeah, the exact data, copy that and paste it on Tuesday.
Okay. Oh, okay. I'm seeing it. It's working.
Try drag.
I'll have to go the copying paste way.
It's supposed to drag automatically. I'm not sure it's not dragging, but it's supposed to drag automatically.
Now I think I'll have just to copy.
Copy paste, but there's a way out. I'm going to check it out.
Okay. So here it's total.
The total.
Mwalimu, could it be because his letters, the Monday, Tuesday are all in small letters, while the day in our sheet are okay?
That won't, because like the character are the same regardless of caps or lowercase. Regardless of the caps or lowercase, but we are going to find out why is appearing like that. I'll check it out here on my end as well. So after that bit, then that we have done for daily. We've done for daily. The other key item here, we want to do for monthly sales. So I'll just take monthly sales. In this case, the same procedure will appear. So this time round, I'll be having what? Our criteria would be month. So I'm having the same characters that I should be having here should be the same as in our dashboard or not in our source data. So I'll be having January, meaning that we're having 3 characters. January to December, each item should be 3 characters. 3 character. January, Feb, March, each and every item we should be having 3 characters to match whatever that you're having in our source data. Match whatever that you're having in our source data. So on that case, you'll find that the same procedure will apply. 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 And how will we go about it? This will be easy because all we'll be required to do is to use the same function. I need equal sign, SUMIF tab. Equal sign, SUMIF tab. My range, now our range, that is, of course, cells that you want for prior criteria. Now it is monthly. So I take month. I come to my month now, which the shortcut that Molimo has just shown us here, Control Shift, direction down. I'll be having month, the one that you're having there. Then we do comma. My criteria, the condition that we must meet, then it is what? January, or the aspect of the months. So I'm going to click January, then I do comma. The sum range of course is now the total cells. Control Shift direction down. I do enter. That should give us that. Make sure that we are achieving the same results, the same output. We should achieve the same output. We should achieve the same output. We should achieve the same output. Make sure that we are achieving the same output. Make sure that we are achieving the same output. We should all be on the same page. We should all be on the same page. Are we achieving that, Alan?
Just a minute, Mwalimu.
No worries. Amos?
Mwalimu have
Yes,
said criteria.
I'm good.
Mwalimu have said criteria is
Criteria now is our day, is our month, like that's January.
Okay.
That is our criteria.
Mwalimu have said after we have done selecting the range, we press enter.
After are you achieving 34 first of all?
No, I've selected the.
First of all, before you select, just click enter first of all. So that I want us to achieve first of all the 34.
Oh yeah, the 34,000. I've achieved that.
Okay, now after that is where we go. We want to make sure that because see what will happen if at all, so this one might pick, but if at all maybe we'll be having some errors. If you select and it is not picked well, you'll find that there are some items will kind of they won't pick well. And that's why it is always very important to lock our data to make sure that our formula is intact. So all we need to do is just to highlight. We do F4, the same case that we had logged with the other ones. We highlight. We click F4. Clicking F4 is just to lock. Make sure that you are achieving that. Make sure that we have achieved that. So after that, you can alternatively, you see, like you can just take your, you see where my, on our, of course, bottom right, on that case, once that tick plus has appeared, I can just double click. I can just double click, then it will give us the results all through. So we're having for our monthly sales. We're having for monthly sales. We are having for monthly sales. The same will happen with quarterly sales. So now my quarterly sales, the same case, the same procedure, the same concept. Where we will be picking now, we will be picking our quarter. So it is quarter one. Of course, that is 4 quarters. We use the same procedure, equal sign, the SUMIF tab. My range now, our range is quarter. So Control Shift direction down, comma. Our criteria is now these quarters. So quarter, comma, my sum range, cells, Control Shift direction down. So you should be having that. So on that case, we can come and lock to make sure that our formula remains intact. F4. then we have it there. Make sure that you are achieving that. Make sure that we are achieving that. Make sure that we have that. Make sure that we have that. So that it's, as at the end of the day, you can determine the total, of course, of the total items that you're having there. So these are what you should be having. So you can clearly confirm that you are getting, of course, 46. That is, of course, 496,800 all through. 496,800, 496,800, 496,800. That is to say, our summation has peaked, which you can compare with our original values. This is SUMIF, 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 SUMIF function, SUMIF function, this SUMIF function. I'm going to show you a certain document with another task, whereby I want you to use the SUMIF proposed to complete the task that I'm going to share. So that probably in our next class, you're going to look at what? The SUMIFs, SUMIFs, SUMIFs. That's what we are going to do, of course, in our next class. That's what we're going to do in our next class. So make sure that you practice this as much as you can. You have mastered, of course, the concept. Of course, this Excel, I believe we have it. Still, it can be shared, the workings here, so that at least once you have it, you'll find that, and once you practice this, the SUMIFs now will be very easy. The SUMIFs will be very easy. The SUMIFs will be very, very easy.
Mwalimu, I have a question.
Kindly.
Yes, so there was someone who was having a problem, and I took advantage of that time to proceed, and I did on my own the calculations for the daily, the monthly, and the quarterlies in advance. The only problem is that I had not locked the columns that we have now locked together with you. Now the only ones that that has introduced a contradiction is only for the daily sales, but for the monthly sales, the values and the figures obtained when locked and when not locked, I just dragged without locking. We have our figures were the same, so maybe you could comment on that. And then secondly, on in one of your ribbons in your Excel, I can see this something with ChatGPT. I am using Excel.
You're using
sorry, I'm using Excel 2021, and mine doesn't have. So I'm really wondering what's going on. Mine doesn't have that one.
Okay, great. So the first case, you'll find that it is always safe to lock, so that your formula should always be the correct. Coincidentally, now, because you are lucky, you'll find that when you are dragging, automatically the values are picking. But for you to increase your chances of accuracy, make sure that whenever you're having a lot of range, make sure that your range are locked, so that at the end of the day, you'll find that your accuracy will be high. Compared, maybe the daily sales, you realize that maybe you had a missing figure, because that case probably it was supposed to be locked. coincidentally, for monthly and quarterly, if we drag, we are getting the same value because that is luck, we can say. And to increase our chances of accuracy, you should do what? You should always send to log. The second case, the Excel I'm using, this is 365. And Excel 365, or mine is Office 65. So Office 65 will find that these are just plugins. The plugins here will normally will help you a lot, like the job that I normally tend to do a lot more of analytics. You'll find that we require this. And for this case, this is a plugin that I've just purchased. You have to purchase these plugins, and it is only applicable in Excel 365. The beauty part with this, it will always make our work much easier, in the sense that maybe I don't know how to work out SUMIF, for example. Check this, maybe SUMIF. Maybe I want to know how to work out SUMIF. How to work out maybe SUMIF in how to work out a SUMIF function, maybe SUMIF function in Excel, for example. You see, all you can do, you can just ask your Excel to work it out for you. In this case, I just do like, say, for example, I need to ask AI how to work out SUMIF function. Then you'll find that Excel will just give me what it will give me. So in this case, it's computing, right? It's trying to give me the results. The beauty part is, of course, the aspect of ChatGPT. These are plugin. So in this case, it has given us. So just a moment here. I want to ask this. Ask AI. Give me function, SUMIF function in Excel. Yeah, free trial. Okay, mine has the plan. I need to pay it back, so that you see this giving me free trial, and then choose a plan to continue using function. So you'll find that I think it has to be paid. These are paid. These are paid feature, and subscription monthly is like subscription monthly is $7 monthly. $7 monthly. If you have it, it will just work out. That's why you can see mine is appearing there. Okay?
Well guided, Mwalimu. Thank you.
Great. So at that point, then you guys have a good weekend, and I'll see you in our next class. I'm going to share that assignment so that you can check it out. So have a nice weekend. See you in our next class. Bye bye.